Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Bosun Hub Digital Development encourages you. Join in supporting Walk to End Alzheimer's. ALZ.org. Adams Ribs Smokehouse, 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon, 503-362-2194. AdamsRibsSmokehouse.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Tim Rist on the web at dore.llc. Find your people, find your home.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Hey.
Ta-da! We did it. We're here another Monday, and so thankful to be here today on The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. And Scott, I'm so glad to be here with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad you're here too. You've been going through some stuff, and but we're here today, and you're looking good, sounding good, and we've got a great guest today. And I don't know how much we're going to get into her background, but Oregon State University, the U.S. Olympic basketball team. I don't know where we want to go, but we're going to have fun today. That's for sure.
We are going to have fun today. We are going to have so much fun today. And, you know, I just want to allude, since this show is all about believers in business and about faith in our lives, I just want to thank all of you with a strong belief that pray. And thank you for praying for me. It has made all the difference in the world and will continue in the battle that I have ahead. And I just want to thank you all for that. It makes me stronger and feel better every day when I know people are praying. So I'm so thankful for that. And Scott, you know, I have known Carol for a long time, and so I'm excited to get on to today's show. But before we get moving into that, what are you up to these days now that you have made your move and your local is a little bit in a different area? How are things going?
Yeah, so we are looking forward to an event this coming Thursday, a chamber event here in the greater Waco, Texas area. And there's a lot of little things going on. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, getting ready to launch the experience in the first Saturday in October. It'll be on a little Christian radio station here. Well, no, if it's little, it's the legendary KBBW AM and FM in Waco.
That's amazing. The Waco experience. You know, the experience lives on no matter where we are. It keeps expanding and expanding. And I want to tell everybody about that. First of all, I want to remind you all that the experience is here for you. And the best way to find out more about us is to go to this nifty little page, local.theexperience.video. You can find out all the information, or at least a lot of information about Scott and I, about this show and about our other shows around the experience of life. And if you want to just go directly to our YouTube page, which you can get there on this link, by the way, but if you just want to jump directly to the YouTube, you can go to theexperience.video. That's simple. If you know the name of the show, it's going to be real easy for you. You can find all about the experience on that and subscribe today and look at all of the amazing things that are going on. And I am just thankful, Scott, that you're able to put these things together, make it easier for people to get a hold of us. And one more thing, reminding everybody that we are here every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and 11 a.m. Scott's time, Central Time. There you go. We are here for your listening and viewing pleasure. This does convert to audio podcast, and it does broadcast on the Experience Radio Network. So you're going to want to look in more information on that. If you go to the Experience, local.theexperience.video, you'll find out more about that. So there you go. All right, Scott. With that, I think we should get Carol in the room and get rolling.
Yeah, Carol, we were able to work together when I was first getting into running my own business, and I was a contractor there at the radio station and Hope 1079. And Carol has just been such an important part of the station and that community. So let's bring her in and learn what's going on in the world.
All right, let's do it. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We are good. We're good. I'm glad we get to hang out with you today.
Yeah, it'd be great.
It is so good. You know, I want to tell everybody right off the bat, I don't want to steal your thunder or anything, but I've known Carol for a long time, and I knew she's so humble. I knew her for a long time before I knew a few things about her. Now, number one, let me just say that Carol is a lot taller than me. And so I had this like sneaking hunch that maybe she played basketball.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand to what extent. And I think the most interesting thing, besides being a star at Oregon State University, we could go through the whole story, but Carol, before you jump into your entire story, tell everybody what Olympic team you were on and what you won at the Olympics.
So I was honored to be able to be a part of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympic team. And we did very well. We ended up with a gold medal. So no complaints about that. So enjoyed that experience very much. I was able to play for the U.S. national team 3 years in 1981, 1983, and 1984. And then I was playing overseas during the off season and things. So decided not to pursue the national team after the Olympics. I mean, how many gold medals does one person need, really? So.
I love that. I just want to, before I have you give more information on yourself, I just want to say the most interesting thing on that. I asked Carol actually just recently, a while back. I said, so, hey, you know, there was this guy, this little teeny basketball player that not too many people know about, Michael Jordan, that was on the 84 basketball team too. Did you get to hang out with Michael? And she goes, oh yeah, we traveled together, the men's and women's team. So that was the most amazing thing. I'm going to let you pick that up and then tell us more about you. It's all about you now, Carol. Take it away.
Well, so yeah, I did get to play with, not against Michael Jordan, but we toured together, the men's and women's basketball team, in the summer of '84 in preparation for the Olympics. We did a nationwide tour, and the men were playing against an NBA sort of all-star team that they had put together to scrimmage against them. And the women, because there was no women's pro league, and so basically you had the best players in the country on that team. And so who are you going to play? You know, at that time, I should also remind people that that was before that the Olympics allowed professionals to play. And so everybody on the Olympic team for the men were all college players. So they were the best of the best. And Michael Jordan was a sophomore, I think. And so everybody knew he was going to be jumping to the NBA the next year. But Patrick Ewing was on that team. And so they had a very strong team, but they were still very young. And so they played a variety of different games with NBA All-Stars. And we played against an AAU men's team. And so we played an exhibition tour against a men's team. So that really challenged us. They were bigger and stronger and faster. And so that was a good challenge for us and a good opportunity to get ready for LA.
I just have one comment from my side on the basketball, and then we'll get into some current things. Is I like the WNBA because they actually run an offense and a defense. It's not just this individual stardom. Yeah,
and it has gotten a lot of attention this year with some really notable college players that have caught the attention of the public. And so this year it's really gotten a boost as far as the attention that it's received.
Yeah. So tell us what you're up to now and recently.
Okay. Well, recently, it's not been a lot recently. I've been at Hope 1079 for 17 years now, and doing advertising sales, which is awesome because, as you know, you get to meet so many local business people. And because I work for a Christian radio station, many of them are believers, and it's fun to learn how they view their business, the ministry that they feel called to do in the secular arena and things. And so I've always really enjoyed that. Not all of, they're all experts in the areas where they have their business, but they're not all really versed, or they don't have the time actually to put into learning how to market their business. So I really love to help them with their messaging and getting that messaging out. So it's been a great run, and I've loved working at Hope 107.9. Probably, I mean, I've been very blessed in the opportunities that I've had throughout my career. I was 18 years with Comcast and every other iteration that they got bought by, or that they ended up being Comcast, but and working with great people there. So I feel like I've been very blessed to be able to work with just great people my entire career.
Yeah, well, I know that you are very community minded and really sharing that faith with the community. And I believe, if I remember correctly, you and I first met at a chamber greeters meeting, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you are the world's greatest photo bomber on hashtag Russ Selfies. I probably should have had a collection because it was easy for Carol to photobomb because she's taller than everybody. So all she had to do was run up to the photo and give me a crazy look. And there she was. So, and I always highly recommend photobombing in my selfies. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, that was fun. And so my whole point there is, very reaching out to the community, doing things. You've really, really got yourself well known. I know that I think that you are actually getting ready to really kind of slow down a little bit, but you've been such a blessing as far as getting out to people. How important is that community to you in your business and all you do?
Well, I mean, it's everything for the business, but it's also for me personally. I think community is just so important for everyone, to have people that you can go to, people that you can depend on for goods, for services, all those, sorts of things. It's, I mean, it's what keeps me in this area, is that I have so many connections here. My daughter lives in Texas, not far from you, Scott. She lives in Dallas.
Nice.
And my son is way in the middle of the boondocks over in Condon, Oregon. And so, I have to travel 4 hours by plane to get to her, and 4 hours by car to get to him. So, but this is my home, and this is my community, and this is where all my connections are. And so, this is where I am.
And you've been involved in different community groups and organizations over the years. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you involved in?
Well, not too much right now, because I am spending more time. Like you said, Russ, I'm a little bit winding down, and so taking some liberties with my time. So I'm in Texas, every couple of 3 months, and I'm just returned this weekend from a weekend with my grandbabies, and so spending more time doing that kind of things. And so I've been a little bit hesitant to do too much commitment into volunteering and that kind of thing, because with still working and then trying to do more of these things with family and things. It's been,
and over the years, in the past, what have you been involved with in the past?
Well, I was involved with the chamber. There's some local connection, networking groups that I've been involved with. I'm always involved with things that have to do with, like, Bible study, Mid-Valley Women of Christ. I was always a part of their Bible studies, and help many nonprofits with their marketing and their advertising and things. So kind of got involved with different things. There's the Love Inc. organization is doing fantastic things for the community and things. So just like to support those kind of businesses or organizations.
Yeah, well, I have definitely, like I said, been blessed to see you around the community and the things you're doing. And you talk a lot about your family, and I think it's such an important part of our life. I mean, God first, but then our family is really our focus. And you're really starting to draw into focusing more on your family at this point in your life, and I can totally relate to that. Um, and so I love that. And do you have any big plans for that? Is question number one. And question number two: how did your family in the past integrate into all the work you did, whether it be with the station or whatever? Because I know that's always part of your life. I mean, you got to take your family wherever you go as part of you.
Yeah. Well, again, I've been so blessed to have the career that I've had because it has given me flexibility to do things. And so um, when you work in sales, you're basically paid for what, for the amount of work that you're doing and the sales that you have. And so, but you also have flexibility. And so I can shift my hours however I need to for family stuff. And so my kids were both very involved in sports growing up. And so that was important. It was important to, be at the basketball games and the volleyball games and the track meets and, all of that kind of thing. So I've just really loved the freedom that this occupation has given me. And it's, I mean, you can't, I don't know how I would have done it otherwise, actually.
And I want to just talk a little bit about your occupation in sales, because it's such a critical, important part of business, and people shy away from it. I will say, needless.
Nobody majors in sales in college,
right? I always say the heaviest piece of office equipment is the phone receiver. Right? People would rather take a funnel and try to load toner into a cartridge than pick up the phone and make a sales call. Can you tell us about your career and what has made you successful, and what tips would you share for people that are involved in sales?
Yeah, because I did not intend to be in sales. As a matter of fact, I was working in production. I was a broadcast communications major at Oregon State. And so when I finished my basketball career, I played 8 years overseas, 6 years in Italy and 2 years in Japan. And then when I retired, I came back and I went to work for a small independent video production company that contracted with TCI Cable to do commercial production. And so I ran that department for about 6 years. Producing TV commercials and longer form instructional videos and things like that, and managing a staff of about, I don't know, I think we were maybe 12 total for the whole valley. We covered the whole valley. But then we got bought by TCI Cable, and they were not as enthusiastic about video production as the two professors from Oregon State who taught video production. And so I kind of saw the writing on the wall, and that they were wanting to cut costs. And so I had the opportunity to take a position in sales it was then TCI. And I thought I could do sales because I was well connected with the community, and people remembered me from my basketball career and things, and I kind of stand out in the crowd. So I was well connected, and I thought I could do it, but I didn't think I would like it. I thought, I know I can do it, but I just don't, because I don't like salespeople. That's what I told myself. I don't like salespeople. But I did have really good examples of really good salespeople that were working at TCI at that time, and they really cared about the business. And that's what I saw, is that they really had a heart to help the business in their marketing and their advertising. And they weren't going to just push the latest and greatest. And, it's like, okay, we've got this product and they want to sell this and stuff. And they were more interested in helping the businesses do well. And I really appreciated that. And so I sort of looked to them for examples as to how I wanted to do. And I thought, if I can do sales with that being my primary focus, that I want to first and foremost I will never sell something that I don't believe is beneficial for my client. And if I can do that, I believe that I will be successful. And I have been. It took me about a year to actually admit that I was a salesperson. For about a year, I was going, well, I work at, TCI Cable, and I sell advertising, but I used to be in production, as if that gave me some validity. It's like,
Yeah.
or guess what? I'm a gold medal Olympian, so I had to have something, It's like, so, but now I'm very proud of what I do, and I've been able to keep that as my number one focus. Is that, yes, I'm there to bring in revenue for the radio station, which is a ministry on its own. Now I work for Hope 107.9. It's a big part of the funding arm for the radio station, and so I really feel good about that. But I also have held on to that sense of, I need to do what's best for my clients. And so there's times when I will say, it's not right for you. You don't have either the budget to be able to do it well enough to be able to get results, or we don't have the right audience for you, or, something like that. And so sometimes I have to turn people down. And they appreciate that. They appreciate the honesty, and so that has always turned out well. So when they do get the budget, they come back, or they'll refer me to somebody else, or things like that. So it's just I think it's the right way to do business.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And by the way, we are speaking with Carol Menken-Schaudt, who is our amazing friend and also works at Hope 107.9, which is one of the stations that this amazing show broadcasts on. And we're so thankful for that. And, Carol, I tell you, a lot of people think sales is a dirty word. And I think because so many people do it wrong, and you have clearly done it right. I think when you're hearted behind it and you believe in what you're all about and what you're actually helping people with, it doesn't really make it selling, because you're really helping and benefiting other people and offering them an opportunity to do something, and people can choose to do it or not. But I think that's so important. And I think you do such a great job with that. So hey, in our last few minutes of the show, I want to get things started as we get ready to wrap up here. And I want to ask you, what I'd really like you to tell everybody, really what your gold nugget is, not your gold medal, but your gold nugget of today's conversation is, and that is, kind of wrap up all that we've talked about, and boil it down, and, take your time. We got time, but let everybody know what you want them to remember from today's conversation. And then remind everybody how they get in touch with you, because that is so critical. Because, you're a great resource in the community. And so I want to be able to have people get in touch with you. So go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the things I think that comes to mind as you're saying that, Russ, is I enjoy listening to the Bible Project podcasts and things, and they've been going through the Sermon on the Mount, and one of the things that they were pointing out about the store up treasures in heaven, this concept of storing up treasures in heaven. And they were really emphasizing that this is not a transactional thing. Like, if I give up, things down here, I will have this, all of this stuff, that is just, it's a transaction. However much I give up here, I will have up there, kind of thing. But they really started to define, and I resonated with this a lot. They started to define these treasures in heaven as like, what's the most important thing? And the most important thing to God is people. And so by investing in people, and not just, I try to do that with my business. I try to be there, and I've helped to advise people that I'll have people that have me look at their website, and I'm not a web designer, but I have a, it's like I have a sense of, kind of how I would experience the website, and so I try to help people in any way that I can. I have friends, I have people who I'm walking through life with, to be able to just not fix their problems, but to be there, to be a sounding board, to invest in them, to just help each other, walk through life, because life can be very rough and bumpy. And we all know that. We've all experienced those sorts of things. And God puts us here to be able to walk through with one another and to help support one another in that. And whether it's in your business, you have people that you come across and you cross paths with and you build relationships with in your business, in your church, in your social community. I mean, it's all about the people and how you're impacting them for the kingdom.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And, it's interesting because I just want to just do a short follow-up on that and say that when we're true to ourselves and that you are, that just comes out of you, and it definitely impacts people because they know it's you. And that's why you've been such a good salesperson, because you're not really pushing sales on people. You're impacting people for positiveness and for all the things you're doing. And so I want to thank you for that. And I just want to tell you what a blessing you are to me. Not only have I been able to have a lot of fun with you as a friend and doing our crazy selfies and you photobombing, and that's one of my favorite things, all of that stuff, but just, getting to know you and talk with you. You've also been able to work with me with my business. Previously did some advertising on the station, and we got to chat the other day when I was in the station. It's just such a blessing to have you as a friend, and I just want to thank you for that. And remind everybody how they get in touch with you. We're going to put this up as you tell everybody.
I think the easiest way is just at Carol at Hope1079 or Carol at Hope1079.com. We have another email address, but it's a little more difficulty. This is my my personal email is on there, Menken-Schaudt at gmail.com. That's my personal email, and so you can always reach me on that.
I have ticking along the bottom. I do have the Carol at Hope107 down there, and that's the one right there, right? Carol at Hope107.9.com. There you go.
Right.
And so listen, everybody, make sure you go to Carol at Hope1079.com. That's the easiest way, but we'll have all the other information. We'll update, even though you can get a hold of Carol in the other ways. We'll just make sure and update that email on our information. And everybody, all of this is clickable, by the way.
Absolutely.
So click and go to.
I'm going to put a plug in and say radio advertising works. Radio advertising is a really good way to promote your business, or if you have an event, reach out to Carol and the team there, because it's the audience is loyal, and if you're listening to this, because you're one of them.
It's an exciting time. The station has been growing, and we've been gaining listeners, and the numbers are showing that, and our visibility out in the community is much higher. And so it's an exciting time at Hope 1079, and we'll be going to all Christmas music come November. So it's a great time.
Making my wife happy. Making my wife happy.
You, Carol.
All right, Carol, listen, we're going to let you go, but we'll talk with you. Hang right in the green room here. We'll see you in just a second.
Okay.
All right, Scott.
Fabulous,
there we go.
As always.
Another one in the books. The most amazing people. We're so blessed.
Yeah. Well, Russ, great to hang out with you, and rest well, and we will talk again on the next show next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
There you go. Thank you, everybody, for being a blessing. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Woohoo!
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.